I'm Jesse Draper, the Valley Girl. What does your company do? Have you ever Googled yourself?
Totally.
What makes a great entrepreneur? What's your next big idea? Tweeting's like my favorite. Let's talk business.
I'm like the Valley Girl.
What does that make you think of?
Baseball.
Oh, really? It makes me think of horses. You know, like the cavalry? Like the cavalry is coming. And their boots! You know who makes their boots? Ariat. Only the coolest and biggest equestrian company ever. Let's talk business.
Ariat is the largest equestrian footwear and clothing company. Beth Cross is the CEO of Ariat.
This is Beth Cross. Welcome, Beth.
Thank you.
So how are you doing today?
Great, thanks.
So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Pennsylvania, number 7 of 8 kids. I grew up on a horse farm,
Oh my gosh.
which is where I started, developing just my love of horses and the sport.
So you run Ariat. This is, it started as a boots company.
Yes.
And so I want to show off my amazing boots because they're fabulous. These are Ariat boots. And can you tell me about these?
So we make both English riding boots and Western riding boots. Those are our Western style. And our boots are designed for real athletes.
They're super comfortable.
Very comfortable, but real equestrian athletes need that because they're in their boots all the time.
Yeah.
Because they live their life in boots and jeans typically.
Yeah, and I have had quite a few uncomfortable cowboy boots.
Yes.
Yeah, they're really just, they're soft in the bottom and they feel really great.
So our entry into the market was just to take the concept of treating riders, either Western riders or English riders, like athletes, and saying, what do they do during their sport? How do they, when they're riding, when they're on the ground, et cetera, what kind of technology they need in their footwear? And so we took all the available and appropriate technologies out there for footwear, for either running or hiking, et cetera, and we put it into riding boots. And that's how we started the company, was taking technology from other sports and putting it into riding boots for equestrian athletes.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then, so you went from footwear to, you now have clothing, and, tell me a little about the sort of expansion.
Well, again, we think about the use of technology in footwear, and footwear is a great place to offer technology.
Oh, definitely.
And then we started making
These are beautiful.
clothing. So that's one of our shirts
Looks
for
super
English riding.
comfortable.
Yep, really great.
So why is this an English riding shirt?
Well, it's just English riders will wear that type of product when they're training or just everyday riding. And the English rider has a really different look than
And
a
a
Western
Western wears
rider.
more like a cowboy outfit.
They'll wear jeans and a cotton shirt, etc., whereas the English rider will wear breeches. That's what they ride in typically. So you can put a lot of technology into clothing. That shirt has, it's breathable, of course. It has an SPF finish. When you're riding outside, you don't get a sunburn. And also our jeans, we just started doing Ariat denim about a year ago.
Well, that's exciting.
Very exciting. And again, the denim has a lot of technology. It's really where we start. We sit down and say, what are the needs of the customer? What are the needs of the athlete? And then how can we make a better product? And we don't go to market until we have something that's just better.
So you started out with boots, and you've really just scaled in so many different directions, and now you're international, is that?
Yeah, the whole strategy has been from the very beginning to really serve the athlete. And so we give, we have fantastic footwear products, the denim is great, the apparel is great, et cetera. And there's equestrian athletes all over the world. So, of course, in the US and Canada, in Europe, it's a big, big sport in Europe and in the UK, Australia, New Zealand. So we show up wherever the equestrian athlete lives. And in so doing, the business, naturally just gets bigger, and in a very organic and a very healthy way.
Now, I went to see Beth when I was a kid to get some boots from you guys.
I remember.
And you were just starting out. You were in one warehouse. You were saying it was your first warehouse.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. I remember that visit so well because, well, first of all, I got a really awesome new pair of boots.
Yes.
And second of all, you had dogs all over your office. So do you still have that?
Yeah, we still do. We had a dog policy. Well, we didn't have a policy, which was probably our first mistake. But people brought dogs into the office from day one, and so now.
And you're a big animal lover, are you?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people. We love to recruit people that love horses, because then they get to just live their passion and work their passion. And a lot of people that have horses have dogs. They kind of go together.
That's interesting.
And, yeah. So I don't know how many we have in the office right now, but my guess is easily a dozen or so.
Okay. And so how big is your company now?
Well, we have, as of today, we have about 300 employees around the world. And so we have an office in Union City, which is just across the bay. And we have an office in the UK, which is, they manage our sales effort for the UK and all of Europe. And we have an office in China where we manufacture a lot of our products.
Now, I have a little activity for you. It's called the Fabulous Cup.
Okay.
Fab Cup. It's fabulous.
Okay, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay.
So define the terms.
Yes, as fast as you can, just throw. Go.
Spurs are metal things you put on your boots to keep the horses going. A plunger, I would think is something you do with a toilet, but that's horseshoe is what is on the bottom of a horse's foot to protect the hoof. A buggy is what a horse will pull, oftentimes racing, or if you're in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, it's the Amish people use buggies. Panda is an animal from China. Craisins, or I ate one last night at a meeting. Stilettos, I don't wear them. Mandolin is an instrument. Persimmon is something I love in frozen yogurt. Gallop is a horse at top speed. National Velvet is a great movie starring Elizabeth Taylor, and a payphone, I think they've all been taken out of San Mateo as of today.
Well, that was fantastic. High five.
There we go.
That was awesome. I'm always trying to encourage more women to, start their own companies. What advice would you have for, a female entrepreneur starting out?
Well, I think it's the same for a woman as it is for a man, which is just be sure that you've got a concept or a business that's worth putting all that time and potentially all that money into it. Because I think the challenges are the same for men and women, in terms of a startup. And I think a lot of women have a tendency to kind of think more about how to balance the demands of the startup with their balance, with the demands at home, or with kids, or with a marriage, et cetera. I mean, they tend to go there first and think about how can I start a business when I have these other issues or these other demands on my time, whereas a lot of guys don't think about that first. They may think about the business issues first. So my advice is always get a great business concept, or at least a business concept with a high probability of success.
And stay focused.
Stay focused on that, and it's going to make it easier too, if you have a really high potential idea.
And it's and about the product too.
We serve a small niche of really passionate enthusiasts, and that's a great place to be for a business, because you know exactly who you're talking to every day. You know where to find these customers, and you can communicate with them and get almost instant feedback in terms of how the product is, how the service is, while you're building the brand. And it just really is it's a more straightforward process, I think, than developing, having an idea and then figuring out along the way who your customer is, or, especially when people zigzag in terms of who their customer is. I think that would, make things very, very difficult. Because if you know who your customer is, your chances of success are so much higher.
So now tell me about your favorite horse moment.
There are many favorite horse moments, as you can imagine, because one of the best things about working and being a part of Ariat is that lots of what we do, being out at events, talking to athletes, is around the horse. And I would have to say one of my favorite moments was last year. We were the sponsor of the World Equestrian Games, and it was it's an amazing event. It was down in Lexington, Kentucky, and watching the athletes compete, and watching the horses was just amazing. Athletes come from all over the world, and we just had a chance to see all the sports. There's eventing. There's show jumping. And dressage. And there were a few moments during that event with the best horses in the world and the best athletes in the world that I just saw the kinds of performance that you almost never get to see in a lifetime. And that would have to be one of my favorite experiences with a horse.
And dressage is, it's like, what is dressage? It's a special kind, it's like horse dancing.
It is. It's an English riding sport. It's on the English side, and it is a very, very deliberate, incredibly controlled communication between the horse and the rider. The horses are so skilled and so talented and so gorgeous. It's a great sport.
And it's very focused, right? They can move like one leg at a time and do one foot movement, and
yes.
Oh, that's just
the horses are huge and really powerful, and it's beautiful.
Now, do you know any good horseback riding songs? Like, what do you think of when you think of horses? What song do you think of?
I don't think of a song. What song do you think of?
I don't know. I just don't know any horse songs.
Well, there's a lot of songs I'm sure that have to do with horses, but
like the dun 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 dun.
Well, there is that one, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
Do you want to sing that with me?
Well, you go first, so remind me how it goes.
Right?
That's it.
We're going to do some roping here at the Valley Girl Show.
Good.
Woo!
Nice work.
Okay.
There you go.
I just learned how to rope with Beth Cross. And I roped Beth Cross.
I'm like the Valley Girl.
I'm like Beth Cross of Ariat International.
Well, that was fun. You're really good at the Fabulous Cup.
And now it's time for your ditz moment.
I'm going to get you.
All right.
Oh no! I'm so mad. I can't get the chair.
One more time.